flash one. Now they should be moving over to the left, and they're not doing so. So let's give them the final flash. Still no response. I'm afraid, my old Hyundai i30, you have failed. Let's go and check out who the perpetrator is.
Okay.
Today we are hunting middle lane hoggers. That's right, we're doing a pretty different style of video today. So, what are the rules? Well, we're going to get ourselves onto the motorway. We're going to start off on the M1, then we're going to make our way down to the M25, and then finally the M40, so we can see the driving style on different bits of road. And why am I doing this video? Well, because every review I do, there are middle lane hoggers, and it drives me bonkers because it holds up so much traffic. We've already got one guy that's driving 40 in a 70, but he might be turning right at the roundabout, so I can't blame him too much for that. But yes, what are the rules? So, we are going to get behind a middle lane hogger once we find one. Newsflash, it won't take long. It's officially our first victim. And then I will double flash 3 times, but I will leave a gap in between each flash. And if they get out of the way, then they get a big old tick. And if they don't get out of the way, they get a big old cross. What I will also do before I give them a cross is do the old move from the left lane all the way into the passing lane and then back into the left-hand lane and see if they can finally get it. But if they don't get that, it's a big old fail, I'm afraid. Now, we move on to the car that I have picked for this test. This is the BMW X5 30D. Why have I chosen this car? Well, it's black and it's a BMW SUV. So it kind of looks a bit undercoverish, if you know what I mean. But the main thing for me is this has laser lights. And if you've ever driven next to or against a BMW equipped with laser lights at night, you'll know they are blindingly bright. So I'm doing everything in my power to give the middle lane hogger as much chance as possible. A high up SUV, so the lights are right behind them, and I've got probably the most powerful lights on the market. What we're also going to do is test the MPG of this BMW X5 30D, because BMW does say it's supposed to do 44 miles per gallon, and if we're doing a lot of motorway miles today, we may as well try it out. So let's reset our mile per gallon figure, and we'll see what we manage. Now we're already on the motorway, the extra urban cycle is quoted as getting 51 mpg, so it might even do that. My hopes aren't that high though. Even though this is an efficient engine, this car is equipped with a CT carbon body kit as well, so yeah, it might not do that well. But anyway, let's get on to the task at hand and hunt some middle lane hoggers. It looks to me like we have our first victim, and it's this man in a van. Let's go and see who we're dealing with, shall we?
What are you looking at?
Let's give him the old left lane check, shall we? And see what happens. He's being undertaken by someone else. In fact, now I'm being undertaken. Unfortunately, we didn't get the time to flash him, but he was sitting in the middle lane, so you, my friend, get a big old no. Now we come on to the M25, and from my experience, this is the worst road in the UK for middle lane hogging. And as you can see, there is a Tesla that might potentially be our next victim. Let's see what they do. Well, the Tesla's he's kind of not middle lane hogging, but he's very close. This Range Rover, however, is clearly middle lane hogging. So let's give him the old flash. Any response? Give him a few seconds. No response. Well, we've now come up to a slip road, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. However, he was sitting in the middle lane for approximately 2 minutes, which he should not have been doing. Let's have a look at our victim, shall we?
Riding round in a Rover.
So this is the one thing I do see a lot of on the M25. So now we're in traffic, we've got a 40 mile an hour limit. This guy is sitting below 40 miles an hour and he's still sitting in the middle lane. And he's clearly not overtaking anyone. Two young gents. Van's overtaken him. I have undertaken him by just being in the same lane. Will he speed up to 70 miles an hour? We shall see. Still undertaking. Uh-oh. That is a big fat cross for you, my friend. So one thing I want to know from you guys in the comments is, would you class that as middle lane hogging? Technically there are cars in front of him, but there's also no need to be in that lane. I'm moving just as fast in this lane. What do you guys think? Let me know. And now we come on to the most common sight on the M25. Totally clear lane. You, my friend, big old thumbs down. You, my friend, big old thumbs down. You, my friend, big old thumbs down. Look at this, an entire queue of middle lane hogging. Thumbs down, thumbs down. And a fellow BMW driver. Oh dear, my friend. Not very good, is it? And what do we have here? Another middle lane hogger. And another one. So, what do we do? Well, we're going to get behind them and flash them and see if they get out of the way. You don't need to be in this lane, mate. So let's get you out the middle lane. That's flash one. He's been undertaken. Let's give him another one. That's flash two. Give him another 10 seconds. And that's flash three. Remember, these are laser lights, folks, so he can definitely see this. Oh dear. I'm sorry, Audi driver, but you have officially failed. Let's get a quick look at the perpetrator. Oh dear. What's even worse is he's even pulled in behind us in the passing lane, and he is pretty quickly dropping back. Mega fail for you, Audi driver. Mega fail. Here's a little pro tip for all you M25 drivers out there as well. Because of the epidemic of middle lane hogging, the left-hand lane usually will move quicker than any other lane, I find. Ironically, it tends to move quicker than the passing lane as well, which is pretty surprising. Anyway, we're coming up to the M40 now. Let's see how bad it is there. We've got another victim. This person is middle lane hogging. As you can clearly see, the Peugeot 107 with a broken wing mirror is about to undertake him. So, what are we going to do about that? Well, we're going to give him a big old flasheroonie. Prepare to be blinded, my man. That's flash one. Oh, this is a very bad middle lane hogger. Let's give him the second flash. Still no response, but they are speeding up, which could be an indication that they've suddenly realised they are middle lane hogging. They're going back past the Peugeot, overtaking them at approximately 1 mile an hour, which is fair. But now they should be moving over to the left, and they're not doing so, so let's give them the final flash. Still no response. See, this is the problem, right? I think people just do not know that they're not supposed to be in the middle lane. So, I'm afraid, my old Hyundai i30, you have failed. Let's go and check out who the perpetrator is. You, my man, have failed. Well, 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 what do we have here? We have Audi 1, Audi 2, Renault 1. Oh, he is moving over to the left. Good lad. You, my sir, get a big old thumbs up and a tick. Well done. But he is about to undertake the Audi Q7, which should not be in the middle lane. And you can see that middle lane hogging goes all the way up there. There's a whole queue of them. And there's no one else in the left lane. Everyone should be in this lane. What are you doing? Look at them. Not a single car for miles. And do you know what this means? If I want to overtake these two Audis, I have to go in the passing lane, and I shouldn't have to do that. This is another thing, when people have an accident, you get everyone looking. Right, we're on the final stint on the M1 now. Let's see if there's any middle lane hoggers left. Is this Mercedes one of them? I don't think so. Not necessarily. The car in front of him definitely is, though. Yes, look at this Peugeot. He's moving out the middle lane. Well done, Peugeot. You, in fact, get a nice big thumbs up. Well, that video went as expected. As you can see, middle lane hogging is it's an epidemic. It really is. It's so bad in the UK, especially on the M25. It's just awful. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon, unless the police start handing out fines for it. And I don't necessarily want them to do that, because I don't think that's the right approach. I think just good education is the right approach. Penalising people with money is not always the best way to go about things. But there does need to be a massive ad campaign, bigger than the one that's already out there, telling people and teaching people how to drive properly. Or, I suppose what they could do is get motorway driving put into your driving test, or certainly into your lessons, because it is awful, and it makes driving around London absolutely horrific, in my opinion. Sorry for that interruption, but unfortunately the camera did die. But as I was saying, yes, it just means it takes ages for you to get anywhere, especially, as I said before, round London. But anyway, that was an hour and a half, or just over an hour and a half of driving, 75 miles, and we probably went past over 100 people that were hogging the middle lane. So please, UK government, do something at least. Don't fine people unless you absolutely have to, but please just do like a huge ad campaign or something to stop people from hogging the middle lane. Then in terms of miles per gallon for the BMW X530D, we did, let me try and get the camera in the right place, 36.7 mpg, which is not the best figure in the world. Actually, you can kind of see it a little bit better there, can't you? But yeah, it's not the best figure in the world, and I think that is because this car has a CT carbon body kit on it. It just creates a lot of drag, but it kind of looks cool, so if you got the money, if you're a bit of a baller, yeah, I'd probably still get it. But anyway, as always, if you enjoy content like this, please give us a like, and why not subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale. Which reminds me, the car in this video is actually for sale. It's a BMW X530D with the CT carbon body kit. It's got stuff like Harman Kardon sound, it's got memory seats, you can even change the movement or position of the passenger seat, which is pretty cool, as well as the headrest. How cool is that? And you can move the upper portion of the backrest. Nice. But yeah, my name has been Tom, and you have been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.